If you're getting bad or even terrible results on your 3D printer and can't find the source of the problem, it might just be your filament. I'll show you what printing with bad filament looks like on this Ender 3 version 2, and we're also going to see whether printing that same bad filament on a new high-tech 3D printer makes any difference at all. So, stick around. Years ago, I picked a brand and just stuck with it. It was always the no-name brand, and it worked just fine for me. It wasn't perfect, but good enough not to complain. And of course, the price was right. But that all changed when I ordered some new filament. Thinking I was doing a good thing by supporting my country in some small way, I went ahead and bought 4 spools. I had never experienced what it was like to print with bad or poorly tolerance material. I didn't really understand what was happening. I thought there was something wrong with the printer, so I changed the nozzle, put a new Bowden tube on, checked and recalibrated the E-steps, and I set everything back in Cura to what I knew worked for me in the past. But I didn't have any better luck. Finally, when I switched back to my original filament, the problems went away. So what exactly makes a spool bad? Well, it turns out the list is actually pretty long, and some things you can control like moisture content, and some things you can't, like inconsistent color. For this video, we're going to focus on only one, but it's an important one, and that's the inconsistent diameter of the filament throughout the spool. I'm going to start by checking the diameter randomly, and this isn't something I'd normally do, and to make it easier, I printed this spool winder I found on printables.com, and I'll put the link in the description below. Everything's set up to rewind the spool, and while I'm rewinding it, I'm going to take my calipers and take some measurements at random to see how much variation exactly we're getting in this spool, or at least what's left of it, because this is the same spool that I use to print these parts, which I consider to be pretty bad. I've charted the data for gray PETG and the black ASA from 3D Printing Canada, and I've also charted one more, and I'm going to go over that one a little bit later on. So the black ASA shows a difference of 0.04 millimeters from smallest to largest. The gray PETG filament shows a difference of 0.09 millimeters from smallest to largest. The spool says plus or minus 0.02, an allowable variation of 0.04, and we're seeing more than double that. This seems like a really small difference, so let's have a close look at one of these prints by taking a picture. I've calibrated the image, and if we measure from lowest to highest point, we can see a difference of nearly 0.1 millimeters. And if we compare the smallest to largest cross sections of our filament, the difference is actually more than what you might expect. During your print, the variation in the filament can also compound, leading to areas which look far worse than others. Let's get some test pieces going. I'd like something tall enough with some flat surfaces and also some curves, and this is what I've come up with. I'll be printing each of these test pieces with a new 0.4 millimeter nozzle. These pieces were printed with a 0.8 nozzle and a 0.32 layer height, so I'd expect better results with the 0.4 nozzle and 0.2 millimeter layers we're going to print with. I'll be printing this on my Ender 3 version 2, and I'm going to use Cura for that. I'm going to place 2 parts far away from each other just to see how bad the material strings. I'll also print the same parts with my Bambu Lab X1 carbon printer, and I don't know how to use Cura with this printer, so I'm going to be using Bambu Studio, and we'll see if we can do any better. And of course, we're going to need benchmark parts. I'm going to use my usual go-to PETG or PETG if you like animals. I've run out of gray unfortunately, but I've had good success with each color of this filament, so blue should work fine here. The newer printers are so fast that I was able to print several more samples with the Bambu printer to use to compare against. The samples from the Ender 3 version 2 look okay, better than the ones printed with the 0.8 millimeter nozzle. But, and it's a big but, it isn't great, and I probably wouldn't want to sell something that looks like this. The samples in blue printed on the Ender 3 version 2 turned out well. PETG does like the string, so I dried it while I was printing and the stringing improved. Speed and nozzle temperature also play a role, but I like to print hot for best layer adhesion. Comparing those against the ones printed on the Bambu, again ignoring the obvious lack of stringing, the prints do look a little bit better, and I suppose I'd expect that because these machines have more precise movements. Because they printed in a third of the time as well, I also printed a sample in ASA on the Bambu, and it's not bad, though it seems like every so often there's a wave, and I do find that a little bit strange, because I printed with this material before, and the other pieces turned out amazing. I'm going to go ahead and do one more sample in a filament I've never tried before. So while those are printing, let's look at that chart again. This other was Creality's Hyper PLA filament, which had far less variation, almost no variation that I could measure. So does that result in better prints no matter which printer? Yes, it does. Both printers printed this material really well. And the Bambu results may be slightly better, but they're pretty close. If you're having trouble with your prints, take some measurements of the material you're printing before you start replacing parts on your printer like I did. Just because it's on the label doesn't mean it's accurate. It could be a bad batch or misrepresentation. There are ways to work with bad filament. It's best to avoid it, of course, but if you're in a pinch, try changing to print outer walls first. I know it doesn't work as well with severe overhangs, but it causes the variation to move towards the inside of the print rather than towards the outside where it's most visible. This ASA is a good example. These were printed with the same spool, printed inside first, and there's some variation there. And this was printed with the outside first, with the same material, and it's incredibly clean. I'm working on coming up with a mascot for the channel. Have a look at the images at the very end of the video and let me know which ones you like the most, or if you have any better ideas. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. I'll be posting many more original videos like this, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and leave me a comment to let me know what tricks you use to print with bad filament. If you'd like to support the channel in another way, visit my Patreon page and help us to grow. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one.